the undertaker.
And the chief mourner, Scrooge himself, had signed it.
Old Marley was as dead as a doornail.
Scrooge knew he was dead, of course he did. Scrooge and Marley were partners for, I don't know how many years. Scrooge was Marley's sole executor.
His sole administrator.
His sole friend.
And his sole mourner.
So, there is no doubt that Marley was dead.
This must be distinctly understood. Otherwise, nothing wonderful can come of the story we are about to relate. Now, Scrooge never painted out old Marley's name. There it stood, years afterward, above the warehouse door. Scrooge and Marley.
He answered to both names. It was all the same to him. Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, Scrooge. A squeezing, wrenching, clutching old sinner, hard and sharp as flint, secret and self-contained and solitary as an oyster.
The cold within him froze his old features, nipped his pointed nose, shriveled his cheek, stiffened his gait, made his eyes red, his thin lips blue, and he spoke out shrewdly in a grating voice. But no one ever stopped him on the street to say,
"My dear Scrooge, how are you? When will you come to see me?"
But what did Scrooge care? It was the very thing he liked. Once upon a time, upon all good days of the year,
on Christmas Eve,
old Scrooge sat in his counting house.
Good evening, Mr. Scrooge.
Why are you standing there, Cratchit?
The fire, sir. I'm cold.
Well, you should be working, keeping those fingers busy.
I can't feel my fingers, sir. Might I put another coal on the fire?
Let me think about it.
Yes, sir?
I've thought about it.
What did you decide?
No.
Oh.
Uncle!
Ah.
Lovely to see you.
And a Merry Christmas to you, Mr.
Merry Christmas to you, Mum. How's that boy of yours?
Oh, Tim, you mean? As well as can be expected.
That's good news.
Are you two going to go on gossiping like a gaggle of old geese? Why are you here?
Why, it's Christmas Eve. I've come to wish you a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Ah, humbug.
Christmas, a humbug? Uncle, you don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do. What reason have you to be merry? It's hardly as if you're rich.
Then, what reason have you to be dismal? It's hardly as if you're poor.
Out upon it. What's Christmas to you but a time for buying things for which you have no need and no money? Time for finding yourself a year older and not a pound richer? Why, if I could work my wheel, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. You keep Christmas your way if you must. Just let me keep it my way.
But you don't keep it, Uncle.
Let me leave it alone then. Much good may it do you. Much good it has ever done you.
There are many things from which I have derived good, from which I have not yet profited, I dare say, Christmas among them. But I have always thought of Christmas time as a good time, a kind, charitable, forgiving time. The only time I know of when men and women open their shut-up hearts freely and think of people below them. And therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe that it has done me good, that it will do me good, and I say, God bless it!
Let me hear another sound out of you and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. You're quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go into Parliament.
Don't be cross, Uncle. Come, I'm here to invite you to dine with us tomorrow.
Dinner, Christmas, bah, humbug. Good afternoon.
Why? Why?
Why did you get married?
Because I fell in love.
Love? Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why cannot we be friends? I'm sorry to find you so resolute. We've never had a quarrel as far as I know, and so I shall keep my Christmas humor and wish you a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la.
There goes another fellow, my clerk, with 15 shillings a week, and a wife, and a family, talking about Merry Christmas.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Oh, have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years. He died 7 years ago this very night.
I have no doubt that his liberality is well represented amongst his surviving partner. At this most festive time of year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some slight provisions for the poor and destitute who suffer greatly at this time of year. Many thousands are in want of common comforts, sir. Many hundreds of thousands in want of common necessaries.
Are there no prisons?
Yes, there's plenty of prisons, sir.
And the union workhouses, are they still in operation?
But, they are, yes, sir.
Ah, I was afraid from what you had said at first that something had occurred to stop them in their useful course. I'm very glad to hear it.
Under the impression that they scarcely furnish Christian cheer of mind or body to the multitude, a few of us are endeavoring to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth. We choose this time because, well, it is a time of all others when want is keenly felt and abundance rejoices. So, what shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. You ask me what I wish, my good, dear lady, my good sir. That is my answer. I don't make merry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry. I help support the establishments I have mentioned. They cost enough. People will be off, they will go there.
But many can't go there, sir, and many would rather die.
If they had rather die, then perhaps they had better do it and decrease the surplus population.
Oh, but Mr. Scrooge...
It is not my business. It is enough for a man to understand his own business and not interfere in other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon.
Foggier yet and colder out.
You won't be wanting the whole day tomorrow, I suppose.
It's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I was to stop half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used, I'll be bound. Yet you don't think me ill-used for paying a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year,
It's
sir.
a poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose you must have the whole day. See you're here earlier the next morning.
Yes, sir.
Scrooge took his melancholy meal in his usual melancholy tavern, and after reading all the newspapers, he beguiled the rest of the evening in his banker's book, and then went off to bed.
Mr. Scrooge, you scared me half to death. A ghost, I thought you were.
Nonsense, Mrs. Dilber, there is no such thing. And please, in future, keep your voice to a reasonable volume and compose yourself in a professional manner.
Yes, sir, Mr. Scrooge, certainly, sir.
Your evening gruel, sir?
Oh, cold, I hope. No money wasted heating it up.
Some coal for a fire, sir.
Coal? No, why don't I throw gold coins out the window? And, Mrs. Dilber, darkness is cheaper. That'll be all for this evening. Tomorrow, first thing, see to it your boy cleans the pub thoroughly.
Oh, sir?
Something the matter with him?
Well, tomorrow's Christmas Day, sir.
What of it?
Well, I thought I might have the day to spend with me boy. It's Christmas Day, after all.
Now enough. Out on Christmas. I shall be working tomorrow like any honest person, and so shall he. Unless you would prefer to have all of your days off, commencing immediately.
Well, good night, sir.
And have a Merry Christmas.
Humbug still! What do you want of me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was
Who were you then?
in life. I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Humbug! Oh,
You don't believe in me.
I don't.
What evidence would you have of my reality beyond that of your own senses?
I don't know.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Well, because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach. You might be an undigested bit of beef, a fragment of underdone potato. Why, there's more gravy than a grave about you, whatever you are. Humbug! Mercy, dreadful apparition, why do you trouble me?
Yes, man of worldly mind, do you believe in me or not?
I do, I must. But why do spirits walk the earth, and why do they come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him walk forth in life among his fellow man and travel far and wide. If the spirit walk not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death. It is doomed to wander the world and witness what it cannot share, but might have shared on earth and turned to happiness.
But you are fettered in chains. Tell me why.
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link, yard by yard. Is its pattern strange to you? Or do you know the weight and length of the strong coil you bear yourself? Yours was as heavy as this 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have labored on it since. Yours is a ponderous chain.
I see no chain.
Mine were invisible to me until the day of my death, as yours shall be.
Oh, Jacob. Tell me more. Speak comfort to me.
I have none to give you. My spirit never walked beyond our counting house. In life, my spirit never roved beyond the narrow limits of our money-changing home.
But you were always a good man of business.
Business? Humanity was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy were all my business. water in the comprehensive ocean of my business. Hear me? It is too late for me. My lifetime is nearly gone. But I have come for you! I've come to warn you! And to offer you hope and the chance of escaping my fate, Ebenezer. You will be visited by three spirits.
Is that the chance and hope you mentioned?
It is.
I think I'd rather not.
Expect the first, tonight, when the bell calls one.
Can't I take them all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Expect the second on the next hour, the third, when the last stroke of three has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more. And look that, for your own sake, you remember what has passed between us.
Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Well, I'm very grateful to you for dropping by. My dear friend Marley said you might. And here you are. I am bound to tell you, however, that my usual business hours run from 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon, and 6 on the second Thursday of
I am he.
Yes, you are.
Now, I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past.
No, yours.
What business brings you here?
Your welfare.
Well, I thank you very much, but I do think a night of uninterrupted rest would be more conducive to that.
Your reclamation. Take heed. Rise and walk with me.
But spirit, I am mortal and liable to fall.
Bear the touch of my hand. There, and you will be upheld in more than this.
As the words were spoken, they stood upon an open country road with fields on either hand. The city had entirely vanished.
Oh, my heavens. I was bred in this place. I was a boy.
You recollect the way?
Remember it, I could walk it blindfold. Hello, Phyllis, and Richard, and Jim. Oh, hello.
These are the shadows of things that have been. They have no consciousness of us. It is Christmas and they are going home. But the school isn't quite deserted. A solitary, forgotten child is left there. Still.
I know it, spirit. yesterday singing a Christmas carol, and I should like to have given him something that...
Let us see your first Christmas.
Ebenezer! Here's your brother!
Oh no, Spirit.
Fan?
Spirit, no.
Ebenezer! I have come to bring you home, dear brother. Father sent me coats to bring you home. Home! Home! Home? Fan? Yes! Home. For good and all. Home is like heaven. Forever and ever. Sing was of angels, singing exaltation. Oh, sing, oh, ye citizens of heaven above. Glory to God, glory in the highest. Oh, come, let us adore Him. Oh, come, let us adore Him. Oh, come, let us adore Him. Come back home.
Bring down Master Scrooge's trunk.
Now, we will get to be together for Christmas. Here, Ebenezer. Open it. Thank you, Fan. Well, what is it? Open it. A music box. Isn't it magic? Just like Christmas. Now, when you play a music box, it will be Christmas. With music and magic and merry and all. And you will know that I am here with you, and we have everything we need.
Delicate creature with whom her breath might have withered, but she had a large heart.
So she had. You're right, Spirit. I will not gainsay, God forbid.
She died a woman and had, as I think, children.
One child.
Your nephew.
Yes.
Let us see your first Christmas with Kezzy company.
Living now in the busy thoroughfare of the city. It was made plain enough by the dressing of the shops that here too it was Christmas time again. They stopped at a familiar warehouse door and asked Scrooge if he knew it.
Know it? Why, I was apprenticed here.
Yo-ho, my boys!
It's old Fezziwig. Bless his heart, it's old Fezziwig alive again.
Yo-ho, Ebenezer! Richard! Yo-ho, my boys! No more work tonight! It's Christmas Eve! It's Christmas, Ebenezer! Now let's have those shutters up before a man can say, Jack, rock on!
Everyone, pick up your heels!
Small gesture.
Why is it not? He has spent but a few pounds of your mortal money, 3 or 4 perhaps, and he has the power to render so many happy. He may make their service light or burdensome, a pleasure or toil. Thus, our power must lie in words and looks, not pounds and coins and things so seemingly insignificant it is impossible to add and count them up.
And yet, the happiness he gives is quite as great as if it cost a fortune.
Well, what is the
like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk Cratchit just now, that's all.
My time was short. Quick!
Belle,
It's chilly tonight. Christmas weather.
Belle, you should come back inside.
It matters little to you. Very little. I'm going home. A new love has displaced me, and I hope it makes you happy.
What new love has displaced you?
A golden one.
This is the even-handed dealing of the world. There is nothing for which it is so hard as poverty, and there's nothing for which it professes to condemn with such severity as the pursuit of wealth. If my business, Marley and Scrooge, is to thrive, well, there's work to do, Belle, much work to do.
You fear the world too much. All of your hopes have merged into this one base belief. I've seen your noble aspirations fall off one by one until the master passion gain encloses
What
you.
then? Even if I have grown much wiser, what then? I'm not changed towards you, am I?
Oh, Louisa, our love is an old one. It was made for we were both poor and content to be so. You are changed. When we fell in love, you were another man.
I was a boy.
Your feeling tells you you are not what you are. You were one heart. Now we are two. How often I have thought through this, I will not say. I release you.
Have I ever sought release?
In words, no, never.
In what then?
Changed nature, an altered spirit. If you let me today, tell me, would you seek me out and try to win me now?
You think not?
I would gladly think otherwise if I could. You weigh everything by gold, Ebenezer. It is your guiding rule, and it cannot be mine. So, I must release you. May you be happy in the life you have chosen.
Departed forever. Spirit, shall we no more? Conduct me home. Why do you delight to torture me?
I told you, these are the shadows of things that have been, that they are what they are. Do not blame me.
Leave me. I cannot bear it. Haunt me no longer.
Sing we all Noel. What? Sing we all Noel. Hello? Come in and know me better, man. Ah ha ha ha. Oh, here we come a caroling among the leaves so green. Here we come a wandering so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you, and a Merry Christmas too. So we send you and wish you a Happy New Year, and sing you a Happy New Year. I am the ghost of Christmas presents. Look upon me. You have never seen the like of me before.
Never.
Have you never walked forward with my younger family members, meeting my elder brothers and sisters for in these later years?
I don't think so. Have you many siblings, Spirit?
More than 1,800.
A tremendous family to provide for. Spirit, conduct me where you will. I went forth last night on compulsion, and I learned a lesson which is working now. Tonight, if you have aught to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe.
Suddenly, they found themselves on the city streets on Christmas morning. There was an air of cheerfulness abroad, for the people were jovial and full of belief.
The poulterers' shops were still half open, and the fruiterers were radiant in their glory. And the grocers, oh, the grocers! Almonds, cinnamon, candied fruits, and French plums. Once or twice when there were angry words between dinner carriers who had jostled each other.
Spirit sprinkled a few drops of water on them, and their good humor was restored. Their walk became a dance. Deliciousness poured from his torch.
Is there any particular flavor in what you sprinkle from your torch?
There is my own.
Or would it apply to any kind of dinner on this day?
To any kindly given, a poor one most,
Why to a poor one most?
because it needs it most.
The Spirit stopped at the threshold of the door and smiled. He blessed the dwelling of Bob Cratchit.
That Bob Cratchit, who had but 15 shilling a week, and yet the ghost of Christmas present blessed his four-roomed house.
He blessed Mrs. Cratchit in a threadbare gown made brave by ribbons. Ribbons make a good show for sixpence. Oh, he blessed Belinda, the youngest daughter, laying the table.
And he blessed Peter as he plunged a fork into a saucepan of potatoes.
Whatever happened to your poor father and your brother Tiny Tim? And Martha, she wasn't this late last Christmas by half an hour.
Hello? Here's Martha, Mother.
Oh, why bless your heart alive, my dear, how late you are.
You have work to finish up last night and had to clear away this morning, Mother.
Well, never mind, so long as you come. Sit me down, Lord bless you.
Wait, go hide.
Hi,
Father's
Grandma,
coming.
Merry Christmas, my dears. Merry Christmas. Why, where's our Martha?
Not coming.
Not coming upon Christmas Day. Her shop was ordered to stay through Christmas, and they were told to work through the night or never come back.
Poor Martha.
Here I am, Father. Peter, Belinda, Tim, go help Martha get the dinner ready. Off with you. And how did little Tim behave?
As good as gold and better. Sometimes he gets thoughtful, sitting there by himself so much and thinks the strangest things you've ever heard. He told me, coming home, that he hoped that people saw him in the church because he used a crutch, and that it might be pleasant for them to remember upon Christmas Day, who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. I've never seen such a goose.
With applesauce and potatoes? Everyone will have enough. And look, the pudding is boiling on the copper.
Ah, a wonderful Christmas pudding and a wonderful Christmas dinner. Now, a toast to Mr. Scrooge. I give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of this feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and he'd have a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day, I am sure, on which one toasts the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know who he is, Robert. No one knows it better than you do, poor fellow.
My dear, Christmas Day.
I'll drink to his health for your sake and the day's, but not for his. Long life to him. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt. To Mr. Scrooge.
And now a toast to us, my dears. To us.
To us.
God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner. A crutch without an owner.
Oh no. Kind Spirit, say he will be spared.
Well, what then? If he be likely to die, he had better do it, and decrease the surplus population.
You mock me with my own words.
Who are you to decide who shall live or die? If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
Wait, what must I do? Tell me what I must do.
By this time, it was getting dark, snowing pretty heavily. Scrooge and the Spirit walked along the streets. Here, the flickering blaze showed the preparation for a cozy dinner. Moving on through the darkness, it was a surprise to Scrooge to hear a hearty laugh. It was a greater surprise to Scrooge to recognize it as his own nephew's, and to find himself in a bright, dry, gleaming room.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
He said Christmas was a humbug. As I live, he believed it too.
More shame on him, Fred.
Is that
Fred's wife, your niece.
my niece? Oh, she is very pretty. Exceedingly pretty, the sunniest pair of eyes I've ever seen.
He is a comical old fellow, that's the truth, and not so pleasant as he might be. However, his offenses carry their own punishments, and I have nothing to say against him.
I'm sure he is very rich, Fred. At least you always tell me so.
What of that, my dear? His wealth is of no use to him. He don't do any good with it. He don't make himself comfortable with it. He don't have the satisfaction of thinking he is ever going to benefit us with it.
I have no patience with him.
Nor I. Nor I.
Nor I.
Oh, I have. I'm sorry for him. I couldn't be angry with him if I tried. Who suffers by his ill whims? Himself, always. Here, he takes it into his head to dislike us and not to dine with us. What's the consequence? You don't lose much of a dinner.
Indeed, I think he loses a very good dinner.
So do I.
And I. And I.
Well, I am very glad to hear it, for I haven't any great faith in these young housekeepers. What do you say, Topper?
But Topper has clearly got his eyes upon one of the young ladies, for he answered that.
Oh, a bachelor is a wretched outcast who doesn't deserve to express an opinion on such a subject.
Whereas Scrooge's niece's sister,
The one with the lace tucker.
not the one with the roses.
Hush! Do go on, Fred.
I was only going to say that the consequences of his taking a dislike to us and not to make merry with us, as I think, that he loses some pleasant moments which can do him no harm. I mean to give him the same chance every year, whether he likes it or not. For I pity him. He may rail at Christmas till he dies, but he can't help thinking better of it. I defy him. If he finds me going there in good temper year after year and saying, Uncle Scrooge, how are you? If it doesn't put him in the vein to leave his poor clerk Cratch at 50 pounds, that's something. He has given us plenty of merriment, I am sure, and it would be ungrateful not to drink his health. Here is a tankard of mulled wine ready at the hand, and I say, Uncle Scrooge.
Uncle Scrooge!
A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the old man, whatever he is. He wouldn't take it from me, but he may have it nevertheless.
Spirit, you look older. Are spirits' lives so short?
My life upon this globe is very brief. It ends tonight.
Tonight.
Tonight at midnight. Hark, my time draws near. Look here!
Spirit, are they yours?
They are mad, all of ours, and they cling to me, appealing from their fathers. This boy is ignorance. This girl is want. Beware of them both. But most of all, beware this boy. For upon his brow I see that written which is doomed, unless it be erased. Deny it! Slander those who tell you of it.
But have they no refuge, no resource?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses? 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 Are there no prisons?
I am in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You are about to show me the shadows of the things that have not yet happened, but will happen in the time that lies before us. Is that so, Spirit? Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any spectre I have seen. But as I know your purpose is to do me good, and I hope to live to be another man from what I was, I will bear your company and do it with a thankful heart. Will you not speak to me? But lead on. Lead on. The night is waning fast, and it was a precious time to me. Lead on.
obscure part of town. Here were men of business, and Scrooge made a point of always standing well in their esteem at the exchange. The whole quarter reeked with crime, with filth, and misery.
No, I don't know much about it. Either way, I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
What happened to him? I thought he'd never die.
God only knows.
What has it done with his money?
I haven't heard.
Left it to his company, perhaps?
He hasn't left it to me, that's all I know.
It's likely to be a very cheap funeral, for upon my life, I don't know of anybody who would go to it.
Suppose they make up a party and volunteer?
I don't mind going, as long as lunch is provided, but I must be fed.
Well, I am most disinterested among you, for I never wear black gloves and I never eat lunch.
I'll offer to go if nobody else will. Come to think of it, I wasn't his most particular friend, for we used to stop and speak whenever we met.
These men can scarcely have any bearing on the death of Jacob Marley. That was the past. This is the future.
Scrooge looked about for his own image, but another man stood in his corner, and he saw no likeness of himself among the multitudes. Sitting in among the wares he dealt in was a gray-haired, rag-and-bone man, Old Joe.
Look here, old Joe, if we all three haven't met at Scrooge's coffin without meaning it. Let the child woman alone to be the first, I'll be the second, let the undertaker's boy alone to be the third.
You couldn't have met in a better place. Come to Scrooge's coffin. You were made free of it long ago, you know. And these other two ain't strangers. We're all suitable for our calling. We're all well matched. Come into the parlor, come into the parlor. The master's in this hall, here he knew today. Christmas has come in, and no man should be sad.
What odds then? What odds then, Mrs. Dilber? Every person has a right to take care of themselves. Scrooge certainly did.
That's true indeed, no man more so.
Oh, then stop standing there as if you was afraid, woman. Who's the wiser? We're not going to poke holes in each other's coats, I suppose.
No, indeed.
We should hope not. Very well, then. That's enough. Here's the worst for the loss of a few things like these. Not the dead man, I suppose.
No, indeed.
If he wanted to keep them when he was dead, why wasn't Scrooge natural in his lifetime? If he had been, he would have had somebody to look after him when he was struck with death, instead of lying alone by himself.
That's the truest words that ever were spoken. It's a judgment on him.
No!
Master's in this hall, here he knew today. Christmas has come in, and all there should be sad. Noel, 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 sing we clear, hoping all the folks on earth born is God's son so dear. Noel, 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 sing we loud. God's today hath mournful grace, and cast it down the
I hope he didn't die if anything catch him.
Oh, you don't have to be afraid of that. We ain't so fond of his company. You can look through this shirt, but you won't find a hole. They'd have wasted it if it hadn't been for us! So that's the end of it, you see. He frightened everyone away while he was living, only to profit us when he's dead!
Oh, I see, Spirit, I see. The case of this unhappy man may be my own. My life tends that way now. Let me see some tenderness connected with the dead.
And so he took a child and set him amongst them, and said, "Truly I say to you, unless you turn and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." Mother, are you all right?
The dim light hurts my eyes. It makes them weak by candlelight, and I wouldn't show weak eyes to your father.
Oh, tiny dear.
Must be near his time.
It's past it rather, though. I've seen him walk slower than he used to.
I have known him to walk with tiny Tiny Tim upon his shoulder, very fast indeed.
And so am I.
And so am I. He was very light to carry, and Father loved him so that it was no trouble. No trouble.
Oh, and here's your father at the door. You're home, so you went today then, Robert.
Yes, my dear, I wish you could have gone. It would have done you good to see how green a place it is, but you'll see it often. I promised him that I would walk there on Sunday, our little child. I met Mrs. Scrooge's nephew Fred on the streets. I've met him once or twice before, but he stopped me and inquired how we were. I'm heartily sorry for you, Mr. Cratchit, and I'm heartily sorry for your good wife. By and by, how he knew that, I don't know.
Knew what, my dear?
That you were a good wife.
Everybody knows that.
Very well observed, my girl. I hope they do. Heartily sorry, he said, giving me his card. That's where I live. Pray, come to me. It really seemed as if he knew our Tiny Tim and dealt with us.
Sure, he's a good soul.
Be sure of it, my dear, if you saw and spoke to him. I shouldn't be at all surprised, mark what I say, if he got Peter a better situation.
Only for that, Peter.
Peter will be keeping company with someone and setting up for himself.
Get along with you. It's just as likely as not. One of these days, though there's plenty of time for that. But whenever, or however, we part from one another, I am sure that none of us will forget poor Tiny Tim, shall we? Or the first parting that there was here among us.
No, Father.
Never. And I know. When we recollect how patient and how mild he was, although he was but a little child, we will not quarrel easily among ourselves and forget Tiny Tim in doing it.
We promise, Father.
Then I'm very happy. I'm very happy.
Spirit, something informs me that our parting moment is at hand. Well, let me see what I shall be in days to come. My place of business, my house is yonder. Why do you point away? Before I draw nearer to that stone, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of things that will be? Are they the shadows of things that may be? But if our actions change, do the ends not change? Say that I may change these things by an altered life. The man I was. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. Christmas time be praised, I say, when mended need. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will not shut out the lessons that you teach. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirit of all three shall strive within me. Time before me is my own to make amends. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirit of all three shall strive within me. And the shadows of the things that may have been will be dispelled. They will be. I know they will. I will make it so. Yes. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. day. I haven't missed it. But the spirits, they have done it all in one night. They can do anything they like. Of course they can. Of course they can. I shall live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I don't know what to do. I feel as light as a feather. I feel happy as an angel. I feel merry as a schoolboy. I'm giddy as a drunken man. Oh, boy, do you know the porter on the next street at the corner?
I should hope I do.
Ah, an intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. Wait, do you know if they have sold the prize turkey that was hanging there? Not the little prize turkey, the big one.
The one who speaks May?
Ah, delightful boy. A pleasure to speak with you. Yes, my boy.
It's hanging there now.
Ah, it is. Well, go and buy it.
Ah, humbug.
No, I'm in earnest. Go and buy it and bring it here, that I may give you directions on where to take it. Come back with it and I'll give you another shilling. Come back with it in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown. Oh, and boy, Merry Christmas. I'll have it sent around to Bob Cratchit. He shall know who sent it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. Well, yes, a Merry Christmas to everybody and a Happy New Year to all the world.
The boy was off like a shot. He must have a steady hand in the trigger to have got a shot off half so fast.
And really, for a man who had been so out of practice for so many years, he had a splendid laugh. The father of a long, long line of brilliant laughs.
Oh, here it comes. It's the turkey. Woohoo! Oh, well, hello. How are you? A Merry Christmas to you. Well, that is a turkey. Yes, what a turkey. Why, it could have hardly stood on its own 2 legs, that bird. Why, you could never carry that to Camden Town. You must have a cab. Come. Oh, isn't it?
The chuckle with which he said this, and the chuckle with which he paid for the turkey,
And the chuckle with which he paid for the cab.
were only to be exceeded by the chuckle with which he greeted everyone he met that day.
Oh, my dear sir, my dear lady. My dear sir, my dear lady. No, I hope you succeeded yesterday. It was very kind of you. A Merry Christmas to you.
Mr. Scrooge.
Yes, that is my name. I fear it may not be pleasant to you. Allow me to ask your pardon. And will you have the goodness to accept this form? There is not a farthing in it, I assure you of it. A great many back payments are included in it. Will you do me that favor?
My dear Scrooge, I'm not sure what to say. It's like
Oh, don't say anything. Come and see me. Will you come and see me?
We will. Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
He went to church and walked the streets and watched the people scurrying to and fro.
He never dreamed that any walk, that anything, could yield him such happiness. In the afternoon, he turned his steps towards his nephew's house.
Hello, Fred. Hello, niece.
Bless my heart, who is that?
It is I, your Uncle Scrooge. Your poor old Uncle Scrooge. I have come to dinner. May I come in, Fred?
Well, Uncle,
Dear uncle, please come to dinner.
He was at home in 5 minutes. He hugged his nephew and kissed his niece. Wonderful family, wonderful party.
But he was early at the office the next morning. Oh yes, he was early there. If only he could get there first and catch Bob Cratchit coming in late. That was the thing he had set his heart upon.
Well, hello. What do you mean coming here this time of day?
I'm terribly sorry, sir. I'm behind my time.
You are, yes, I believe you are. Well, step this way if you please.
It's only once a year, sir. I was making rather merry last night.
Yes, well, I'll tell you what, my friend. I am not going to stand for this any longer. And therefore, I am going to raise your salary. A Merry Christmas, Bob. A merrier Christmas, Bob, my good fellow, than I have given you in many a year. I will raise your salary and I will endeavor to assist your struggling family. We will discuss your affairs this very afternoon over a steaming bowl of Christmas punch. Let's make up the fires and go buy another scuttle of coal to warm this place and do it before we dot another eyebrow Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did all that he promised, and infinitely more.
And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father.
Tim, one last thing. I have a special present for you. It's a music box. It may not look much on the outside, but in it, it has magic. When you open it, it can be Christmas whenever you like.
He became as good a friend and as good a master and as good a man as the good old city had ever known.
And any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world.
He had no further dealings with spirits,
But lived by their precepts all of the year.
And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well.
May that be truly said of all of us.
And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us, everyone.
God bless us, everyone.
and just one last message for you. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for coming today. Gracias por haber venido on behalf of the entire cast and crew and everyone here at the Walnut Street Theater. My name is Johnny Fernandez. Just want to take a moment to remind you that what we do here at the Walnut Street Theater is so much more than what you see on the stage. Every year, the Walnut Street Theater Education Department brings live theater here and in the classroom to over 125,000 students in the Philadelphia area, and we can't do it without the support of the entire Walnut Street family, including you. As you're exiting the theater today, you'll see some brightly colored buckets. We ask you humbly if you can make any donation. No donation is too small, and of course, no donation is too large. And it goes a long way to continuing to bring live theater to Philly. Have a blessed afternoon. Merry Christmas.